Enough. Well,
Fair
hello,
enough.
folks. We are live. Welcome for the
Live.
for the early birds here. Myself, Joe Wesley, is saying hi to you. And
And Tommy Hilken's trying to wake up. Oh,
okay,
yes.
fair enough. Hey, I got mine also.
Hey, this could be your day to take full advantage, Joe. I had a busy
Hey,
week
I don't need special days for that, Tommy. But thank you for the opening anyway.
there.
Having said that, for those who are new to us, we start a little bit early to give you some background access to us. The concept here is that Tommy, who is a recognized, at least by some people I know, as being a qualified, really competent motivational speech maker. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that correctly yet, but because being a confident speech persona, I'll get it yet correctly, I think, maybe. That being said, that he's convinced that anybody that has interest can be a confident public speaker. And my being the introvert that I am, I love sitting in the back of the room, wishing I could be up on that stage. Not really, but certainly in awe of that speaker getting it out there in a clear, confident manner. He says,
Hmm.
"Hey Joe, it could work for me also." I'm not buying it. So this is
Yeah.
what. So we're having the spar session. In fact, let's put it in context here. We're going to put the boxing game
There
in
it
the
is.
background
There
here.
it
Now,
is.
now everything's up to program here. So I'm trying to make some sense of it, and so we kind of I challenge him. Rephrase that. For those of you who are old enough who know Cassius Clay when he became Muhammad Ali, he developed a technique called the rope a dope. So I'm
Yep.
getting kind of tired of chasing Tommy all around the ring, trying to get him to stand up, support his program. So any comments you can throw in there, please do so. Even if you see us on the replay format, because we do respond to that also. We do audit that. We show up on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Please
Nice.
remember with YouTube, sign into your Google account so we can leave a comment and you can leave a comment back to us. That being said, one of Tommy's loved phrases, and it's not unique to him. Other people say it also. In terms of speech making, content is key. Now, intellectually, I get that. The key to the door, the access to the concept. However, I'm convinced style is more important. So today would be the debate because you can have all the content you want, but if you don't interest your audience, they're not going to come in the room. So,
Yeah.
which is more important, content or style? How does that work, Tommy?
Well, that's a great question. How about if I just answer like this and I stay right in the middle? And the best thing you could do is both. You know, I share this all the time, and I'll share it every time it comes up. When people start becoming or want to become public speakers, or they want to give a presentation, most people they do it because they need to. Some people do it because they want to,
Mm-hmm.
and some people do it for both. And when you get to do it for both, it becomes a pleasure more than something that's a drudgery to do.
Right.
But the fact is, you got to work on two things. I always say, one of the greatest lessons I learned was from one of my mentors, Frank Hawkinson, and I always mention Toastmasters. He
Mm-hmm.
always said, public speaking is broken down like this. When
Okay.
you start out, it's all about me, I. What am I
Mm-hmm.
going to say? What am I going to do? What am I going to look like? Then as you grow as a speaker, it becomes about, wow, I've got this great message. I
Mm-hmm.
can't wait to get it to the audience. I can't wait to get it to the people. So it's me, my. Look at me. Got to listen to my message. But when you grow as a speaker, everything you do, you'll understand will be about your audience. So it takes you right out of it. The only reason you're there to present is to help your audience with something. I always look at it this way. If you can present and they can walk away with something more, they can walk away with something better or something different. Those are three great words to use: more, better, different. Because of my talk, these people are going home knowing more. They're better at something or they can do something differently. I think that's the best way to look at it.
I hear that, but then what comes to mind, and folks help me out here with the comments. What comes to mind is I'm thinking of a physics professor. I mean, how can where can that get in terms of dialogue presenting to a general class of students? And he or she, the presenter, may have very good information.
Right.
But if they're talking monotone, dry style, their back is more on the board, drawing arcane, whatever.
Wow.
So I'm staring at the back of your head. I'm thinking when I say style, it's not. I'm thinking delivery. Hey, how you doing? And not
Mm.
maybe not that far. We're not doing a crazy Eddie syndrome.
Right. Whoa. Insane.
You're right.
Yeah.
For those over puberty age, but that being said, so when I'm thinking style, that I think engagement maybe what's going to keep your audience focused on what you're saying. And so when I say content is key, yeah, okay, fine, the message is there, but if the audience is not enough connected to what you're presenting,
Yep.
isn't that more important? And if it is,
Well,
how do we deal with that?
it's a good way to look at it. You know, people learn, and think about through your years. Uh, you'll understand that most of your favorite teachers, the reason they were your favorite teacher is their personality and way they delivered in class.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they became your favorite teachers.
My favorite one that's gave me an A all the time. So anyway, that's a different story, maybe.
So you had one teacher that you liked.
Yeah, that was one teacher. Yes, my entire life.
Just one.
You're
just
sharp.
one. Who
You're
you
sharp,
kidding?
Tommy. And let's not overdo it. I'm sorry for interrupting. Let's get back to the story here.
Oh, no. You know, and so you think about it, that teacher you liked was the reason that who she was or who he was, how he delivered his message, how he got his message across to you is why you like them. See, people learn all different ways. People learn by hearing, people learn by seeing, and people can learn by doing. Mm-hmm. So when you're getting people involved, you got to understand you got an audience of 30, 50 people. Everybody learns in a different way. So you have to get your message out in a way that everyone in your audience can possibly learn. Number one, can they hear you? Are they learning? Are they getting a message that way? Are you showing them something that they can, later on do? Or are you actually doing something that they can actually sit and do as a little project for 10 minutes in between your talk? Try this out. Turn to the person next to you. We call it the turn and learn, where you turn to the person next to you and you learn something about them. Mm-hmm. So there's different ways of doing it. So that's what you got to find out about your audience. That's why your message has to match. And that's what it's all about.
Okay. Well, that still sounds somewhat mechanical to me. So let me push this a little bit further. So you sometimes talk about projection. You talk about body language. You talk about eye contact. Yep. To me, that's style. So even in a Zoom format, you mentioned when you have all those names up on faces, and you say, "Hey, Joe Wesley," because you see the name there. So that's a technique or style of connecting to that persona. So isn't that kind of the package also of delivery?
Well, the word you used that I really like just now, and I can take it with that, is mechanical. It's okay when you're first going through this to learn eye contact and gestures and actually do it mechanically. Mm-hmm. Start to just do it on purpose. It might not be the perfect timing, but you're going to use your hands. You're going to use facial expressions, body language. Just do it mechanically. Mm-hmm. And through time, and the learning is in the doing, it will become part of you instead of you becoming part of it, where you'll start to deliver your gestures as yourself. Who you are, how do you look at people, how do you talk to people. It's through the doing. Learning is in the doing, so keep doing it and people will understand that this is how it goes, this is me. So you don't want to just go out and do gestures for the sake of gestures. You want them to be part of you and part of your talk.
Okay. So and I also have heard again, we kind of talked about this at an earlier episode, that certainly with the Zoom format, because I know you like, if I understand, you don't like podiums necessarily, right? Unless you're trying to do magic tricks, folks, because it'll hide stuff underneath the podium that I don't see. But anyway, we'll come back to the later show perhaps. But certainly, some people will make it a point to stand aside from the podium, or maybe move away from it to engage the audience, to give them more I'm in connection with you in a physical sense. Right. But we don't do that in the Zoom format necessarily. So doesn't style become increasingly more important because how to make that connection with your audience?
It's funny. I don't know if it's style and or personality.
Okay.
Let your personality shine through or just be who you are. I think on Zoom, the best thing you can do is make sure to deliver your message clearly and precisely. More than anything right now, it's not so much that you need to win people over, by being bigger than life, even though it's not the worst thing. But again, I think if you sit down, structure your talk, lay out your presentation, deliver your presentation on Zoom, I think people are very happy with that you're not all over the place and you're not wondering where you're going to be. And are you making a point? Are your points leading from one to another? I often say when you lay out that key point just put a couple of supporting points under it and deliver it that way.
I hear that.
Here's the point I'm trying to make. Here's my points that support it. But you don't need to go over the top on Zoom. Look at, we're sitting here, right? So there's a few different ways. Are you going to connect as being the messenger? Yeah, you can bring it up a little bit. Or are you going to connect with your message? Most of the time, I would say on Zoom, you need a little bit of both. But if you really put together your message and just deliver it as you right now, and I think you're seeing a lot of success with that right now. I think people have gotten very comfortable doing Zoom. People who were not even, wanted to ever present now are very comfortable because it's like you said, why am I not standing behind the podium? Because I like to be free. I want to be vulnerable. I want to open myself up to the audience.
Okay.
But when there's a podium there, there's actually in your mind something between you and the audience. So it gives you that sense of comfort. I think people really found their sense of comfort presenting on Zoom. And I think many people are going to use this platform for a long time.
I agree with that one. I'm going to challenge your statement because I see in my version you're still sliding back to the content side. There's a lady I know that she presents a lot on Zoom.
Right.
And she's been invited to participate in a TV program. It might be internet based. I didn't bother to get the details.
Okay.
And she'll be giving a segment. And there's a process. She's had so far to present a written version of what she's doing. They critique it. They give it back to her. She's got to work the bullet points, work out the timelines.
Right.
And she's done 2 or 3 presentations for them as part of this processing. But they gave her a homework assignment.
Right.
And they told her you have to work on your facial expression.
Yeah.
Because her style is a studied or flat style of delivery.
Yep. Gotcha.
So we're back to the style side. So it's factual, great, sequential way of thinking, fantastic. But they want her to keep that audience captivated.
Yeah.
And her expressionless style of presentation for them wasn't working. So that's kind of what I'm alluding to.
No, that's good. If something's important, if something's exciting, if something is key that you got to get through to people, let them know it. And again, as I mentioned to you, we can go over this over and over and over again.
Excuse me, Tommy. I have to with you though.
No, but I know it doesn't sink in. Facial expressions are huge because that's really what our body language is on Zoom now. So I'm a big proponent of body language. If you're going to present, body language is huge. So right now, all we've got right now is you're not going to overuse your hands here. It just doesn't do anything. But facial expressions are huge, yes, because it gets you. If you're excited about the point you just made, let people know it. You can do it with your face, and more importantly, the tone of your voice, inflection. If you're excited about something, hey, this was the most important thing I've ever done in my life, right? You get that energy out. So I think what they're trying to say to people when they're talking about the facial expressions is give us a little more energy. Just bring a little more energy to your face, bring a little more energy to your voice, and that's all it comes down to is energy. Bring it up. Listen, you told us you wanted to be on our television show. You said you had a great point, something that really excited you, that you think our listeners or our audience is going to like. Well, make sure it's that important to you that you're excited about delivering it. When you're excited, people will be excited. What I always say, what you put out, you get back.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It comes to mind as I'm listening to you that my wife and I, she likes to watch those. You win a prize. Let's make a deal. I just pick one out. Or the Price is Right. They're all the same thing.
Sure.
And so to be the dutiful husband, I'll sit with her and watch. But it doesn't grab my interest. But what happens is if somebody goes the ding, 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 gets the stuff, she's jumping up and down with the person on the screen. I'm saying, what are you happy about? We're not getting that prize. So kind of what you're saying is the exuberance of the participant oozes out to the audience. And so that's kind of, I guess when I talk about style, that's what I'm talking about. You want to grab your audience in that manner?
Well, think about it, right? The voice. If I was to say to you, hey, and a new car. Wait, what do they do? Those guys? A new car,
that's
right?
True.
It's like the energy comes out. Like, my God, you'll want to win a new car. My God, the place goes crazy.
And I admit, I want that. I want that. And I'm sitting at home watching the program. I get that.
Yep. That's just it. You're watching, and they know that scientifically through the years, these television shows have been monitored to see what works, what makes the audience tick, what makes them come back, what makes them sit through a commercial till they come back. Believe me, a lot of science has gone into this, human being to human being. And really, if you're thinking about Zoom, right, and why, if you want to get better at Zoom, you could watch some television shows and see why people come back and what draws you in and what's the cliffhanger right before the commercial and what happens to bring you back, and or next week even, right?
Yeah, true.
Stay tuned for, right?
That's right.
That's what it's about.
Who shot JR from Dallas?
That's true. I think that was 6 months later you had to wait.
That's right, all summer.
Yeah, all summer.
Right, so that's my style thing. That to summarize, yes. So Tommy's going to take us home on this. Hopefully, yes. Content. He says content is key. I challenge that does unlock the door, but if you want them to come in the room, you got to have the style to get them there. So, what's your finalized statement on that one?
Well, I think it's if there's a message that resonates with the people, they'll come. And then I think what you were saying is not so much to get them there, but to keep them there. See, people, if you put up a flyer that has a message that here's what I'm going to talk about, and the message that they see that you're going to deliver resonates with them, they're going to come because it might be something that can help them have more, better, different. But the secret to that is how do you keep them there? That's where the presentation skills comes in. Not so much drawing them in, but certainly keeping them there once they get there.
Fair enough. Well, thank you for that, folks. If Tommy, again, has not made any sense to you, please leave your comments. If not during the live session, because we're about to finish now. But on the replay side, you can click it, replayable, and we do all of that. So we really look forward to your comments, if not during the sessions, after the fact. And please feel free to spread the word. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tommy, for your presentation. Thank you for the audience members who've chosen to visit us this session.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good rest of the day.